play this video for you now to kind of wrap up our day here together, okay? And we started with Tony Robbins, Take the Stairs. We're going to end with Tony Robbins. And this is his message about commitment. About commitment, okay?
Oh, that's so funny.
Okay, where did that go? Let's try this.
I have another picture here for you. This is called the commitment continuum. It's another visual depiction of a process that all of us sort of go through in our minds with every single decision that we make. You see, in any decision, there's a decisional threshold. And on this side, your right side, that decisional threshold, that is an affirmative decision, saying, I'm going to move forward with this. Now, over here on your left side is sort of a negative decision, meaning I've decided not to go through with this. And this happens, again, with everything. And most of the time, you hear people talk about or consider the physical energy that is required to execute a decision or a commitment once it's made. The decisional threshold, the best example I can think of is in dating. If two people are dating, right, eventually they reach a point where they're saying, either we're going to get married or we're going to go a different direction. You know what I'm talking about? That's the decisional threshold. Now, more important than the physical energy that goes into these decisions is an emotional energy that, again, we don't seem to adequately account for. And successful people and average people, both eagles and turkeys, 10s and 2s, all have this same struggle in making a decision. See, one of the questions I wanted to know is, are successful people just born that way? I mean, is it something in their DNA? And it doesn't seem to be true because everybody goes through this difficulty. There's this emotional energy expenditure in making the decision. And here's what's wild about self-discipline. Very often there is more energy expended in making the decision than in actually executing the outcome of that decision. In other words, the hard part is when you're sitting on the couch going, should I go to the gym or should I stay at home and watch TV? And that's the hard part. Once we get to the gym, it's actually easier. So this is what happens. So most of us come up to this point, this decisional threshold, and the difference between successful people and average people is so incredibly minuscule. And this can frustrate a person's entire life because you on the outside can seemingly look like, act like, talk like somebody who is successful, and yet everything for them always works out. Everything for them always turns to gold. Everything for them is always a success. But everything for me, I always seem to fall a little bit short of. I can never catch that big break. I'm always just a little bit short on time. I'm a little bit short on money. And this will answer why that happens. You see, when we come up to the decisional threshold, we choose the way that we think about that decision. That is our attitude. The simple definition of attitude that I offer is attitude is choosing the way that you see things. Choosing the way that you see things. So most people come up to this decisional threshold and they don't have a negative attitude. They don't have a bad attitude. They don't even really have a mediocre attitude. This is their attitude as they say, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure I'm the right person. I'm not sure this is the right time. I'm not sure this is the right place. I'm not sure you're the right person. I'm not sure this is the right company. I'm not sure. Now, with successful people, their attitude is ever so subtly different. It's so small, it's almost invisible. And it's not like it's incredibly positive. It's not like it's overtly enthusiastic necessarily. Their attitude is just a teeny bit different. And they say, well, I'm in for good. Yeah, I don't know much, but I know I'm in for good. I know I'm doing this. And here's what happens that starts an important cycle. At this moment, the person here on your left, representing most people, starts asking themselves the question, should I? Should I stay or should I go? Should I do this or should I not? Should I move forward? Should I retreat? Should I invest this money? Should I spend this time or should I not? Should I? We end up asking the question, should. You end up becoming what I like to call a shithead. Don't be a shithead. Nobody wants to be a should have. Now, here's what happens. Once you start asking the question should, we automatically start retreating back towards the opposite direction. Because both successful people and average people, neither of us like to be in this state of emotional conundrum going back and forth. None of us like that. We want to return to emotional normalcy. So what successful people do is they have this attitude of, I'm in for good. I've made up my mind. I'm going to do this. The question is, again, only so subtly different. Their question is not should I, but how will I? How will I? And the moment you start asking the question how, it's like our minds transcend all limitations. When we start asking the question how, our creativity engages. There are energies and juices that come alive inside of us, things that we never knew were there. And they come out simply by, we create a space for them to happen by asking the question, how will I make this happen? How is this possible? How can we make this be reality? And once you ask the question how, you immediately cross over the decisional threshold. But the moment you cross over, it doesn't get any easier. In fact, a lot of times it gets harder. A lot of times it gets a little bit harder, but then over time it gets easier. And then it creates this momentum in our life that cannot be stopped.
So, are you in for good? Do you know that you can do this? Don't be a shithead. Ask yourself the question, how will I? How will you achieve the goal that you want to achieve in your business in these next 3 months? What are you going to do to create that to happen? How will you? And whatever that goal is, some of you just want to build your consultant business, consultant, senior consultant, team leader business, and have it be stronger, being active every single month, earning the income that you want every single month. Some of you are sitting here right now, you want to be a director, you see yourself as a director. If that's where you see yourself, then ask yourself, how will I become a director in the next 90 days? Or even better, by November 1st. So you can take advantage as a director, making that extra money. November and December, the 2 big holiday selling months at the Pampered Chef. October's not too shabby either, actually. But how will you be able to do that? How will I become that director? If you're a director today, and your goal is to move up and become an upper level leader at the Pampered Chef, how will you become advanced or senior or beyond? By what date? And then once you ask yourself that question, how will I? Start writing it down. Stream of consciousness writing. Just write. How will you? What will you do? And force yourself not to just write 4 or 5 things, but to write 15 or 20 things that you can do to answer the question, how will I? Because the first 4 or 5 things are the obvious things. Mm-hmm. It's once you force yourself to go past 4 or 5, you force yourself to go past what's comfortable, is when the magic truly starts happening. Because you start breaking it down into smaller, bite-sized pieces that are actually going to enable you to have the success that you're looking for and to be able to reach the goal that you're looking for. So how will you achieve your goal? How will you truly get more that you're looking for and get the results you want between now and the end of this year? And with that, my dear Janine, we got a survey?
No, that one little line there, I want you to, like you did last.